Indianapolis Colts on the road for Week 6, big AFC South showdown. Winner takes over first. They're in Jacksonville. Jags fans welcoming their boys home from a very successful trip abroad.
And over the middle. Oh, a little hook and ladder. The ball's loose. And Jacksonville recovers it. What a win for Doug Peterson and the 3-2 Jaguars.
Now the Jaguars have to try and do something they have yet to do this year. Win a game in front of Jason in the good place, a.k.a. win a game in front of real Jaguars fans. It's great they look so merry or cheerio in front of the Brits, but how about you show some gratitude to your roots? Do some busting in the D, Duval style.
Fires toward the end zone. That ball is going to be caught for the touchdown. Calvin Ridley.
Jaguars offense comes in closer to being right than it has all year. Biggest reason, their run game finally clicked. Travis Etienne had his first big game of 2023 versus the Bills. Over 5 yards per carry, over 130 yards, 2 scores.
Etienne gaining the edge, and he walks it in.
There is a catch. Buffalo's run defense, terrible in 2023. Indianapolis's run D has not been. Held Derrick Henry to 3.3 a carry Week 5, holding running backs to 3.6 a carry for 2023, so won't be easy for Etienne to replicate his showing. Zaire Franklin, 14 tackles alone last week.
4th and 1, Henry, well short.
If Etienne is effective, it sets Spicoli up. Trevor Lawrence threw for over 300 yards, a rating over 100 versus a tough Buffalo secondary, kind of game he's sort of expected to have weekly.
Such a great benefit to have all these playmakers for a guy like Trevor Lawrence is that you don't have to throw the ball far to get big plays.
The other reason Jacksonville's offense comes in feeling itself, though, Calvin Ridley, over 120 yards, 8 targets, caught 7 of them.
Just beats the pressure, but a perfect throw over the outside shoulder by Trevor Lawrence.
If him and Lawrence are clicking, then Indianapolis's DBs are really up against it. They still have Zay Jones to cover. He scored versus the Bills.
The end zone, touchdown. Zay Jones goes up to get it.
And Christian Kirk to chase around. 70-plus yards last week, 70-plus in 3 of their last 4 games.
Over the middle. That's Christian Kirk. Taking it down to the Buffalo 32.
Tight end Evan Ingram was quiet versus Buffalo, but a consistent contributor. Colts pass defense they rumble with. They did hold Ryan Tannehill to a sub-80 rate last week. No TDs allowed, picked him off.
Tannehill fires near side. It's picked.
They also allowed over 260 yards to Tannehill. They've given up a plus 90 rate on the year. They gave up 140 yards to DeAndre Hopkins Week 5, have allowed a rating over 100 to wide receivers in 2023.
Protected. Oh gosh. Fires and the catch. Hopkins.
Is Indianapolis's pass rush going to show up this week? Only one bag Week 6. They don't blitz a lot and they don't have a high pressure rate. They like to save the bodies to defend the pass. Lawrence got sacked 5 times last week, got his left tackle back, and then watched him leave hurt.
Pulls it down, and then he's pulled down. It's Epinesa again.
Flip it now. If you want to smack it first like Bell, Biv, and DeVoe, be my guest. One of the big keys to this game for Jacksonville's defense, how well they play the run. Their rush defense will be front and center versus Moss and Taylor. They were barely tested last week, but they held James Cook, a 5-yard per carry guy prior to facing them, to minus 4 yards.
Cook, huge loss. Sean Jenkins sniffed that one out.
Colts will hit them with the 2 backs. They hope to get back in sync now that JT has returned. Jonathan Taylor, quiet in his return to action Week 5. But the Jaguars defense will see plenty of Zach Moss still, too. Dude was like, are you sure you needed to give JT all that coin? I mean, how about if I give you 7.2 a run, 165 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 1 week? Moss and Taylor could be quite the duo once Taylor gets warmed up.
Here's a breakaway. Moss off to the races. Moss to the house.
It's not to say the Colts won't be throwing the ball. They have a guy who could throw the ball a quarter mile back in '82. Are you serious? Dead serious. Indy rolls with Uncle Rico. Gardner Minshew, 11 for 14 off the bench last week, a rating over 110, over 11 yards per attempt.
Minshew slinging it, completes. Mo Alley Cox.
Jags DBs have two blokes to primarily worry about. Michael Pittman, over 50 yards last week.
Minshew taking over for Anthony Richardson, throws a perfect ball. Pittman on the catch.
And rookie wide receiver Josh Downs, almost 100 yards last week, a key contributor in all 5 of their games.
Fresh set of Downs with a quick delivery near side. This is Downs. Downs has some daylight.
Jaguars defense has average digits versus quarterbacks for 2023. Not bad, not great. That's what average means, right? But as for Pittman and Downs specifically, Jacksonville's rating allowed to wide receivers 105. Gave up 100-plus yards to both Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs in Week 5.
3 for 3 on third down, and then now a touchdown. Stephon Diggs.
Jags pass rush not able to close the deal versus the Bills. Josh Allen needs to remember the TB12 rule this week. When sacking a quarterback, you have to lay a pillow down first and gently lay down the QB after. Lullaby optional.
And it just, one of those things, you're just running through the quarterback. Helmet hits helmet. So tough for a pass rusher. And I'm a quarterback saying that.
Allen has 6 sacks in 2 games, none in the other 3. Trayvon Walker, 2 in 5 games. They expect more consistency from that pair. AFC South supremacy in 2023 is on the line. Your job now to fill the comment section with analysis, injury updates if you hear or see any of them, and predictions. Our job to fill the screen with those right after I remind you that if you sign up for NFL Plus, you can watch live games, NFL RedZone, NFL Network, and more on mobile. If you don't know, now you know.